The Egyptian mythology is a vast and intricate tapestry of gods, goddesses, myths, and rituals that were central to ancient Egyptian religion and culture. This mythology is characterized by a pantheon of deities who embody various elements of nature, aspects of society, and human experiences. Understanding this mythology and the importance of gods within it is crucial when discussing the concept of power among Egyptian deities. At its core, Egyptian mythology served as a means of explaining the natural world and the human condition, providing structure and meaning to the Egyptians' everyday lives. The significance of understanding Egyptian mythology, especially the role of its gods, is paramount in exploring their hierarchy of power. These gods were not only worshipped as divine figures, but were also integral to the functioning of the cosmos, governance, and society. For example, Ra, the sun god, was seen as the king of the gods and the ruler of the sky, a vital figure who ensured the sun's daily journey across the sky, thus sustaining life. Another key deity is Osiris, the god of the afterlife, who represented death and resurrection, fundamental concepts in Egyptian beliefs about the eternal nature of the soul. In contemporary times, the mythos of Egyptian gods finds application in various fields, from literature and popular culture to modern spiritual practices. Films like The Mummy and books such as Rick Riordan's The Kane Chronicles series draw heavily from Egyptian deities and myths to build engaging narratives. Additionally, modern spiritual movements sometimes incorporate Egyptian gods into their practices, attributing symbolic meanings to these ancient figures. While many appreciate the rich narrative and cultural heritage of Egyptian mythology, it is not without its controversies or alternative views. Some scholars argue about the interpretations of certain myths and the hierarchy of gods, as these were not static but evolved over millennia and varied between regions. Moreover, the anthropomorphic representation of gods has, at times, been subject to criticism, contrasting with more abstract or monotheistic spiritual systems. This understanding of Egyptian mythology deeply influences the ranking of the gods by power. It allows us to see how these deities interconnect through stories and rituals, painting a larger picture of ancient Egyptian society's worldview. Analyzing the gods' interactions, domains, and mythological significance provides a framework for assessing their power and influence, culminating in a nuanced exploration of one of history's most fascinating and enduring religious systems. The criteria for evaluating power of Egyptian gods is a foundational concept in understanding how ancient Egyptians perceived and ranked their deities. This involves examining attributes like the scope of a deity's influence, their mythical feats, the extent of their worship, and their role in creation myths and the afterlife. Evaluating a god's power is not merely about brute strength, but incorporates their ability to influence the natural world, dictate the lives of humans, and maintain cosmic order, known as Ma'at. This point is significant because it helps us understand the hierarchical structure of the Egyptian pantheon and offers insights into the culture's values and beliefs. For example, Ra, the sun god, was considered supremely powerful due to his role in creating the world and his daily journey across the sky, which Egypt relied upon for the annual flooding necessary for agriculture. Similarly, Osiris, who governed the afterlife, wielded immense influence due to his association with resurrection and the promise of eternal life, crucial elements in Egyptian religion. These examples illustrate how power was not solely measured in destructive capabilities, but also in sustaining life and ensuring continuity. Opinions supporting this idea highlight the Egyptians' holistic approach to divinity, where power was synonymous with harmony and balance rather than dominance alone. Scholars argue that this reflects a sophisticated theological system that prioritized order and fertility over chaos. However, evaluating divine power is fraught with challenges and controversies. One major challenge is the fluid nature of mythology, where stories evolve differently across regions and epochs. As a result, a god's power could vary dramatically depending on the time and place. Furthermore, there's the question of subjective interpretation. What one historian might perceive as a sign of power, another might see as secondary to a god's other attributes. An alternative viewpoint might argue for a purely historical or archaeological approach, which could downplay mythological narratives in favor of more tangible evidence of worship practices. This point connects deeply to other aspects of the main topic by influencing how we perceive interactions among the gods themselves. By establishing criteria for power, we can decipher the dynamics of myths, such as conflicts or alliances among deities, and understand the reasons behind the prominence of certain gods in different historical periods. Understanding these criteria enriches our comprehension of not only the pantheon, but also the civilization that revered these gods, providing a lens through which we can explore the human need to make sense of the universe through divine archetypes. In discussing the topic of Egyptian gods ranked by power, an essential starting point is the overview of major Egyptian deities. This serves as a foundational guide to understanding who these deities are and their roles within the ancient Egyptian pantheon. The major Egyptian deities are typically recognized as the most influential figures in the religious and cultural landscape of ancient Egypt. They were revered for their extensive powers, complex personalities, and significant roles in the mythological, cosmological, and worldly aspects of life. Gods like Ra, Osiris, Isis, and Anubis not only govern various elements of the universe, such as the sun, the afterlife, fertility, and mummification, respectively, but they also provided a structure for the moral and social norms of ancient Egyptian society. The significance of understanding these major deities lies in their profound influence over the civilization's cultural and religious frameworks. For example, Ra, the sun god, was central to the concept of Ma'at, or cosmic order, symbolizing stability and continuity. His daily journey across the sky represented the cycle of life, death, and rebirth, which was crucial for both agricultural cycles and spiritual beliefs. Similarly, Isis, the goddess of motherhood and magic, played a crucial role in myths concerning protection and healing, impacting daily rituals and social values regarding family and protection. Illustrating this point, one can look at the construction of the pyramids of Giza, which were not only impressive architectural feats, but also religious monuments honoring gods like Ra and Osiris. These structures were designed to align with solar phenomena, demonstrating the gods' dominion over life and death. Another example is the Festival of Opet, an annual celebration that involved the transportation of the statue of Amun from Karnak to Luxor, reinforcing the god's significance in maintaining harmony and prosperity. However, there are challenges and alternative viewpoints concerning the interpretation of the major deities' roles and hierarchies due to the evolution of their myths over different dynastic periods. Some scholars argue that the prominence of certain deities shifted over time, influenced by political and cultural changes, leading to debates over which gods were considered the most powerful at given times. Understanding the major Egyptian deities is crucial because they form the backbone of the larger narrative of Egyptian gods ranked by power. Their interactions and stories influence how we perceive the theological hierarchy and provide a context for discussing the fluctuating dynamics of divine power. This overview not only illuminates the deities' roles and significance, but also enhances our appreciation of the intricate web of mythology and its lasting impact on human history. Ranking Egyptian gods by mythological influence involves evaluating the impact these deities had on ancient Egyptian culture, religion, and society. Instead of mere power in terms of strength or magical abilities, mythological influence encompasses the roles these gods played in shaping beliefs, cultural practices, and historical narratives. This aspect focuses on how central a deity was to religious worship, myth-making, and the everyday life of the Egyptians. The significance of this point lies in its ability to provide a nuanced understanding of the gods' roles beyond simplistic power hierarchies. By exploring mythological influence, one can grasp how certain deities fundamentally shaped Egyptian civilization, offering insight into their cultural and spiritual importance. For example, the goddess Isis, often revered as the ideal mother and wife, and a symbol of fertility, had a profound impact on Egyptian rituals and was integral in myths surrounding death and resurrection. Similarly, Ra, the sun god, was central to the Egyptian pantheon, embodying the cycle of life and becoming a pivotal figure in solar worship and daily life. In contemporary scholarship, these influences can be seen in how Egyptian mythology continues to permeate modern culture, from academic studies to popular media. For instance, Ra's symbolism can be observed in modern interpretations and depictions of sun deities across various platforms, while Isis has been studied extensively for her influence on later religious iconography. However, ranking gods by mythological influence can be subjective and controversial. Some scholars may argue that focusing on influence rather than power can obscure the importance of certain gods who, while not as culturally central, played vital roles in specific rituals or local traditions. Others might contend that ancient texts and archaeological findings are limited, skewing modern interpretations of influence. This examination of influence also interconnects with other aspects of the topic, such as the geographical spread of certain deities and their integration into various facets of Egyptian life. By considering influence, one sees how the worship of these gods spread beyond temples, affecting art, governance, and international relations, thus revealing a more holistic view of their place in Egyptian society. Overall, evaluating Egyptian gods by their mythological influence highlights the dynamic and multifaceted nature of Egyptian religion, offering a richer portrayal of its gods and allowing for a deeper appreciation of their lasting legacy in human history.